Welcome to the second Joy of Music podcast. I know it has been a while since the first one, and this one, in fact, was recorded sometime last year, but for various reasons, it has taken a while to release this. But there are more upcoming ones, so watch out for those. In this podcast, we're going to talk to Jagadeeswaran Jayaprakash, fondly called Jaggu. He's like the Asthana Mridangist and Mridangam teacher of Seattle. I've known Jaggu for a long time, and we've had several wonderful conversations on various musical topics over the years. And also had the pleasure of collaborating with him and working with him in several musical settings and events. It is always quite interesting and fun talking to someone like him. Join us in this wonderful conversation where we get to know more about his musical journey, his teaching philosophy, and thoughts. Hello, Jaggu. Welcome to the Joy of Music podcast. Happy to have you here. And let's start with your music learning experience. I know you started learning right from India, and through here you're still learning with Suchi Shankaran sir. So, can you walk us through that?
Sounds good. Yeah. So thank you, Balaji, first of all, for having me in this show. I'm a huge fan of the Joy of Music and your classes. So happy to be part of it.
Thank you.
So my Mridangam journey started as a kid. I was 9. So my mom, she just wanted me to learn one instrument. Both me and my brother to pick one instrument, and I picked Mridangam. And so it started at Pondicherry Music College. It was called Bharatiyar Palgalai. That's what it was called. The college was starting a part-time program for school kids in the evening, and I got into that program and started having classes every evening. So it used to be 5 days a week, every day evening from 5 to 6, or something like that. So, and my gurus at that time, since it was part of a larger college, we had multiple gurus. So my first guru who taught me Tati Tumnam was Sivakumar sir. Unfortunately, I don't have much information about him, who he learned from, or what lineage he's from. I don't know. But Sivakumar sir was the one that taught me Tati Tumnam. And then another sir, Gobakumar sir, he's pretty popular. He was a disciple of Sangeeta Kalanidhi, T.K. Murthy sir. So he was the one that taught me Tarikita, Tikutaka Tarikita, all those Faran Sollus they were all taught by Gobakumar sir. And another person who played a significant role was Sridhar sir. He was a vocal student who had minor as Mridangam, but later he used to handle a lot of classes for us. And he was the one who taught me a lot, and even he used to come and sing in the class and then ask me to accompany. So he's another person that made a lot of difference in my Mridangam learning in my early days.
I see. So they were all students in the music college
No.
who would teach, or
No, the first two, they were faculty.
faculty? Okay.
Sridhar sir was a student who later became a teaching assistant, and then he also took private lessons as well after that.
I see.
And then another person who had a greater influence was Thiruvarur Krishnamurthy sir. So Thiruvarur Krishnamurthy sir is a guru of Thiruvarur Bhaktavachalam, Neveli Skanda Subramaniam. He has produced a lot of top Carnatic musicians, Mridangists. So he was in Pondicherry. He was a AIR artist in Pondicherry. He used to be the judge for a lot of competitions happening in Pondicherry, and then I've also visited him at his house. He used to live 2 streets away from my house, and so on. And much later, when I was working in Bangalore, we'll come to that later, I did spend a lot of time visiting him and learning things from him as well. So, but this was roughly my years of learning Mridangam.
I see. So later on, you moved to Bangalore for work?
Correct. So I learned from, say, I started around 9 years, and then I continued until I was in my 10th standard. And then I just cold quit Mridangam one day. I didn't learn, I didn't practice, I didn't do anything with respect to Mridangam for the next 6 years.
Because you had to prepare for 10th, 12th.
10th, 12th, that was one thing, but I don't know. I think it's multiple things. I think so. Teen years, I don't know. Interests were different, and even going into college, yeah. So I was music was not my priority, and rather was academics. But music took a backseat, and then I didn't play Mridangam much at all. I didn't practice at all. There were 1 or 2 opportunities I have played in undergrad. But everything changed in 2004 when I moved to Bangalore for work.
What changed?
Okay, what changed? Okay, I started just listening to more like serious music. So I would say even while I was growing up in Pondicherry, I used to go attend concerts. But 2004 is when I probably started to listen to like say exterior greats and then started to appreciate the nuances, really like appreciate the different styles of mridangam playing or vocal singing and so on.
So how did you get started on it? Like, for example, who to listen to, or what kind of concerts? Was it because I mean, I know you had mentioned before that Sangeeta Priya, used
Correct.
to go there and.
So Sangeeta Priya was just becoming a thing in 2004. So Sangeeta Priya, I think it happened more organically. I think, for example, right? Say I started off, I listened to like Palakkad Mani Ayer's one of the concerts and really liked his accompaniment. I was like until that part, right? Until that point, I was not appreciative of how different artists would approach song accompaniment. So the way Palakkad Mani Ayer accompanies is drastically different from anyone that does today. Very sporadic and kind of like plays along with the song, right? And then naturally, I switched to listening to. I still remember the first concert of Trichy Shankaran sir was a Nedunari concert. That's what I first listened to it. And then I stumbled upon airport concert and then became a fan of Semangudi. And then following Trichy Shankaran, again looking for more concerts of Trichy Shankaran and Sangeeta Priya, I stumbled upon, I think, 1967 Music Academy concert of Ramanad Krishnan with MSG and Trichy Shankaran. I absolutely loved that concert. I became a fan of Ramanad Krishnan as well. So that's how it kind of like Sangeeta Priya, played a critical role in my in my music listening. Yes,
That's very interesting to know.
Yeah.
And did at that time in Bangalore, did you also continue learning?
yes. So that was a time again I was getting serious into listening. I used to attend pretty much every concert that happens in Bangalore around that time frame, be it at Udkutur Mat, Gayana Samaj, and then there used to be like Fort High School Ramnavami concerts. So every concert, I'll be there. Every evening, I'll be there. And I also wanted to like learn Mridangam. So again, I've had a break for like 6 years or so, or even more than that. So I started practicing at home, but I wanted like to restart. And glad I found Sukanya. Yeah.
So you had brought your mridangam with you.
I had brought my mridangam at that time. Out of probably my third or fourth month salary, I did buy a new mridangam as well. In fact, this mridangam, the one that came repaired is that mridangam. So this time I took it to India and got it repaired. So I had mridangams, and then I found Suganya Ramgopal ma'am, and then I went and learned from her for the next 3 years, from 2004 to 2007, until I moved to the US.
I see. So after moving to the US, what was your?
Okay, so first of all, while applying to music, while applying to colleges here, right? Again, as I told you before, out of all the artists I listened to at that time, I was quite fascinated with Shankaran sir. In fact, 2006, 2005, 6 December season, I just went to Chennai from Bangalore, just kind of like figured out where all Shankaran sir was playing, and then I went and sat through like pretty much all the concerts that was there, and then I was applying for grad school here. Not very particular. I just wanted to like give it a try if there is like a remote chance that I could learn from Shankaran sir. So I did apply to McGill University and York University, both these universities, with the sole intention that I can like say go and visit him and learn from him. That was the intention. But things changed, and then eventually I ended up being in Atlanta. And but my Atlanta, the lab I was part of, it was doing like a lot of computer science and music related research. It's called as music information retrieval. So we try to like use computer science technologies to like kind of like say get information out of audio recordings and so on. So I was still involved with the music there as well. Eventually, 2009 is when I moved to the Seattle area.
Yeah. I see. Just curious, going back, you said in 2005-06 December season, you listened to several concerts of his. Who all was he playing for?
Okay, so he played the most for Team Krishna. So the most memorable one I have is Krishna Gana Sabha concert, where I went late, and then they said they turned me down, and then they finally said, okay, there is only like seat available on the dais. Would it be okay? I was like, okay. I took it, and then I sat right next to Shankar sir's left side, Gumki. So I
Oh,
was like,
wow.
I was like right, the closest to his left side for that whole concert. Yeah. During that time, he also came to Bangalore. Percussive Arts Center in Bangalore had invited him for a workshop along with the Gadam Suresh sir. So that was also one of the memorable concerts I remember. They played a very, very elaborate Talavadyam, both of them.
I see. I see. So, and after that, you came to the US and you said you were doing your master's.
Yes.
So, and how was your journey after that?
So after that, while doing my masters, I was practicing regularly. I used to practice pretty much every day. I think that habit kind of like started around that time, and it continues. Which is no matter what, I would like I should touch the mridangam at least once every day. So I was also active with organizing concerts and so on. So Georgia Tech, that's where I went for school, had a Indian Music Association. So I was part of that. And second year, I became the kind of the head of that, and then bringing in all kinds of artists to perform. And that's when it was around the same time that I kind of like met Ganapathy Raman sir again. The next chapter kind of like opens up. So he had come for Abhishek Ragram in 2008 when I was in Atlanta. And then we did talk, but I didn't like really pursue with him. It was much later in 2011 when I had moved to Seattle area, and then he had come here to accompany Aniveli Santanagopalan sir and Sriranjani Santanagopalan. At that time, I wanted to like get started with him. Yeah, it's been an amazing journey with him. So again, I owe a lot to him. So he's one person like me. He's like an amazing Rasika. He's listened to again. He used to challenge me. No one would have like listened to as much music as I have done. That's a statement. It's like no Mridangist in this world would have listened to the kind of music that I have listened to. And the outcome of that, right? He can kind of imitate or like say tell the tricks of like varied artists. You can like specifically go and ask about like say Palkad Raghu sir, what did he play? What is the korve he played here? Or like say what was the nadai played by Palkad Mani in a particular concert? He would exactly know. He would in fact like you can even like tell him this concert that Kriti Anupalavi, what did he play? And then he will remember that. So that's a level of listening he has had. So it's helped me a lot. And then he's so down to earth. Again, I've also learned uh, not just Mridangam, but just about how to lead life. A lot of things from Ganapathy Raman sir. I owe a lot to him. And a lot of my students have also like spent summers with him or like learning from him.
Like in India?
In India, yes,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yes. And even online as well. So he's been amazing.
I see. Wow. Excellent.
Yeah.
So then you started learning from
Shankaran sir. So Shankaran sir was much later. I've always had a love for Shankaran sir. And okay, I used to ask Ganapathy Raman sir about a lot of Shankaran sir solos and korves and learn from him. Like I still remember like Tatti, Naddam, Kidadari, Gugunana Talang, all those kind of things. That's Shankaran sir signature solos. I learned it even way before learning from Shankaran sir. So Ganapathy Raman sir used to like tell me this is how Shankaran sir approaches, and he has highest regard for him as well. But learning actually from him didn't happen until COVID. Until that point, I've messaged him several times, even when he was here in 2017, I think. I spoke to him. I had him over for a lunch, and then I played and showed him a few things, and then wanted to like learn from him, but it never materialized. But
came for the Lalgudi siblings concert.
Exactly, that was for the Baha'i Center Lalgudi siblings, but things didn't materialize. And 2020 COVID kind of like changed everything. Incidentally, it was like a session organized by Acharya Net. So I attended that session, and then I told Ganapathy Raman sir there is like an opportunity to like take it further, and he was okay with that. And then I kind of like followed up with that with the Shankaran sir, and that's how the learning started.
And that happened during the COVID.
During COVID, yes. If I remember right, it was like probably the May of that summer of 2020. It was like Chitravina Ravikiran sir. He had posted a Abhiprayam inspired by Pagani Subramaniam Pillai, and then he wanted people to like understand what that Abhiprayam is, and then like send a recording. This was like a summer project or something like that. So this was like probably peak COVID, so May or June, and like 4 or 5 of my kids could like my kids in the sense my students kind of like figured out that Kandanadi pattern, and then they played it, and then they sent the recording, and this was like a follow up to that.
I see.
And then Shankaran sir had come for that. Yeah,
I see. Yeah. And what ways your teachers influenced your playing? For example, one of the things I distinctly remember, in one of the concerts, like, oh wow, I knew that you were learning from Chichi Shankaran sir, but then could clearly see in the way you were playing. And I
Okay.
think maybe after the concert I came
Sure,
told
sure,
you also.
sure, yeah.
So in what ways, what do you see as what you say learned from him, or even Ganapati Raman sir and the teachers before, in terms of either styles, techniques, anything? What do you see yourself as the impact on your music?
Okay, so it's I think it's not just learning. I think it's also what you like to listen, and like over the years of refinement. With respect to Shankaran sir, let's start from that. I know how he would approach a song even much prior to learning from him, where he would play Nanagada, Denagada, 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 Nanagada, Denagada. That's one of his famous things, where he would play that, where he would play a particular soul, all those kind of things, right? I kind of like knew, but I was raw with those things. I would just play whatever comes to my mind. Say, for example, let's take a very simple example of Tattari Dagajano Nagada Talang, Tari Dagajano Nagada Talang. That's a famous chorway of him. Tattari Dagajano Nagada Talang, Tari Dagajano Nagada, and the Dagajano Nagada Talang, Nagada Talang, 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 that ti, na, tom, tati, kina, tom, tadikidagam, tadikidagam, tadikidagam. So this chorway, I just learnt it maybe in 2000s probably. But my solo fingering was like awful. So I used to just play whatever comes to me, comes to my mind. So because those were probably influenced by my prior learnings and so on. But what Shankaran sir did was he kind of like refined those things. How exactly and what to play, kind of like the similar. Because you cannot achieve what he does, but get closer to what his style and his methodology of playing is.
I see. Yeah. And do you also see, for example, in terms of song accompaniment, the way you are accompany the songs as influenced from the way he accompanies? Because that's when I remember distinctly noticing the difference.
Yeah. So I think that that probably started happening past 2020. So again, as I told you, I would have done it even prior to that because I like him so much, and I also do whatever Ganapati Raman said does as well, which is like, there are like a few solos that he would kind of like tease you with, and then he will play those solos in completely unexpected places. That's it's like he would surprise you. He would just make sure it for a second you would lose focus on the artist in a good way, and then like say a wow to the mridangam accompaniment. So Ganapati Raman sir will do that a lot of times. So I would have picked those things as well. But Shankaran sir, right? I think it's just been within me, I think, for the last 15, 20 years or so. So it was much easier for me to like say the moment I started to learn a few things, to take those and then put it in a concert setting was a lot easier for me than what it was with other teachers, simply because of my love for him.
I see. Are there any special memories you would like to share in terms of your performances? I know you are a very busy artist and you play in various different avenues. You play not only for Carnatic concerts, but you also do for Geetanjali and other troops and all that. But in general, in Carnatic as well as others, anything memorable that you would like to share?
Okay, so I think one of the memorable ones. Okay, so I'll start off with this. I'm going to give you a long answer. So I believe in goalless learning. So as I told you, I practice every day, but I don't expect anything in return. That's my thing. But I still had a few goals. So one of the goals was to accompany Srividya ma'am. So simply because the very first time I listened to her, again, that very first Ganapati Raman sir 2011 tour, when he came for Neyveli Sandana Gopalan sir, he also played for Srividya ma'am. At KPC.
At KPC.
At KPC.
Okay,
exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was the very first time I listened to Srividya ma'am. I still remember the kind of happiness, or like say having listened to something so fresh for the first time, right? You can think of it like this. It could be a very lame way of putting it, but say someone that never had a good coffee, and for the first time he's having like a really good coffee, right? And then suddenly he'll be like, oh, what did I miss all these years? So that kind of a thing, it has happened with music for me quite a few times. I'm not sure if we touched on this, which is when I was like looking through Sangeeta Priya and then how I discovered various artists. I think I did have that kind of a feeling when I first discovered Semangudi Airport concert, or Ramnath Krishnan's that 1967 Music Academy concert where he sings a Ramakatha Madhimavadi. I mean, so all these things did have it. And then Ganapati Raman sir's dad, I don't know, Sethalapati Balasubramanian, even when I first listened to him, it did kind of like felt something new. And for some time, I did not have that feeling.
Ah.
So look, it felt like, okay, I kind of like listened to all kinds of music.
Mhm.
That one concert kind of like turned my, again, the switch I was talking about, it turned it again.
I just want to add one
Yeah.
small thing there. I remember that in that KPC concert, I think Neyveli Santanagopalan sir, he was there.
Yeah.
And after the concert, they asked him to speak, and he got up and said, "Oh, it was such a spiritual experience." And then he just said one thing, and that always will stand in my mind, which was, he said, "இந்த மாதிரி ஒருத்தருக்கு உங்க வாழ்நாள்ல சொல்லி கொடுத்தீங்கன்னாக்க,
Mhm.
then the world will be great."
Yeah.
Like that kind of sums it up.
Sure. Yeah. Agreed. And then yeah. So I was always in touch with her, but it never materialized. And then 2022, I played for her in Utah. So that was the first time. Okay, even before that, I should say we did have like a few practice sessions at her house in Portland. All those were like very, very memorable. And then the one in Utah, it was such a meditative feeling. It's like true bliss on stage. It's like it's very, very hard to explain. So, and then just reliving that from the 2011 concert again on stage there, it was memorable. So that is one thing that kind of like stands out.
And I know that you are a very busy teacher as well. So can you talk about your teaching experience?
But I do have like goals in terms of like, say, making them perform on stage. There is a slight difference, but you don't expect anything like, say, an arangetram or like, say, a performance at this level. Talent is highly overrated. Okay, so again, I'll pick things from cricket. You would rather be successful if you are a Rahul Dravid than if you are a Vinod Kambli. I don't know the recent equivalents or the NFL or the basketball equivalents, but that's the thing.